Hi guys, welcome to another live stream. Hope you've all had a nice week and you've been watching some good movies. Now, as you'll probably know, all those who've seen the my little promo blurb that I put out just a couple of days before I start my live. This is going to be a Clint Eastwood special. So if you're a Clint Eastwood fan, this stream will be right up your street. Before I go any further, I've just got a couple of 4Ks here of Clint's. I'll show you later on. I've started collecting his movies on 4K. Some fantastic titles there. I've got another one to come in the post actually. High Plains Drifter from Kino Lorber. So that should be any day now. I've always wanted to do a live stream pertaining to Clint Eastwood because he's one of my all-time favourite actors, an absolute icon. American icon, of cinema. So so I'm looking forward to it. So if you've got a favourite Clint Eastwood movie, at least favourite Clint Eastwood movie, please put them forward. Be very interested, to talk about them. Okay, so I'm just going to get into the comments now, guys. So just bear with me a second. Right. Fazbear Brothers is here. Hi Alan, hope you're doing well. Excited for tonight's stream. I am as well, mate. Yeah. As I say, I absolutely love Clint Eastwood, and one of my all-time favourite American actors. He'd made so many classic movies, chief of which among my favourites is the Man with No Name trilogy, and I love the Dirty Harry series of movies, what he's done, and of course he's done different kinds of movies in between, and that, comedies, for instance, the one with Clyde and the orangutan, every which way but loose and any which way you can. I haven't got that one on Blu-ray, but I've got the DVD of that, the double DVD. As I say, High Plains Drifter, Tightrope, that's another great one as well. Yeah, and he's still going strong, isn't he, in Hollywood, making his movies and that, yeah. So, he's a huge favourite of mine, Clint. Right, Brian's here. Hi Alan, hope you are well. Oh, thanks mate, yeah, thanks for dropping by, Brian, yeah, nice to see you again, yeah, hope you've had a nice week. Screen Stars, hi everyone, good evening, very good evening to you, thanks for dropping by. Walk on, always believe. Watch it, Alan. I hope you're well, and I hope everyone in the chat as well too. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah. Oh, by the way, thanks for sending me those two movies. Yeah, it was a lovely surprise the other day when I got these two parcels from Amazon. So I'm going to do an unboxing video over the weekend and that. So I've seen neither of those movies, So I'm really looking forward to watching them. Yeah. So thanks very much. I really appreciate it. It was a nice surprise, just before Christmas and that, So thanks very much, mate. Yeah. Cheers. Dr. Impossible, evening, horror mastermind, Alan. You okay, Doctor? Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, Clint Eastwood night tonight, yeah. So, if you've got any favourite Clint Eastwood movies, yeah, let's hear about them. Tony Crosby, you okay, too? Howdy, all. There's gold in this here live stream, yeah. Go ahead, meet Maddie. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that. I wasn't going to do any Clint Eastwood impressions, but I just couldn't resist that. I love when he takes Dirty Harry off on that. Yeah. And the part where he says, "Well, do you feel lucky, punk?" Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, he's such an icon, isn't he, Clint Eastwood? 70s and 80s expert. Evening, Mr. Scouser. Good evening. Thanks for dropping by. Nice to see you. Richard Brown, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot is a lesser known gem. I must admit, that is not one of my favourite Clint Eastwood movies, I've watched it and I think I've watched it about 3 times and yeah, I just couldn't get into that one at all. Same with The Rookie, another bad Clint Eastwood movie, but on the whole, I'm very pleased to say most of his movies have been top class. Mel's here. Good evening, Alan. You okay, Mel? Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, nice to see you again. Hope you've had a nice week and been watching some good movies. The 70s and 80s expert. Clint is the last of the old Hollywood icons. Be a shame when he does go. I know, yeah. Oh, yeah, he is. He's an absolute legend, isn't he? And of course he started off on television, didn't he? In Rawhide and that. I think his very first movie was was it the Return of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, where he played, was that the one where he played a lab assistant, or was that Tarantula? Because there was one where he played a lab assistant, wasn't there? Yeah, I think it was I'm sure it was the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Pete's here. You alright, Pete? Thanks for dropping by. Evening, Alan, and everyone in the chat. Yeah, as I say, yeah, nice to see you again, Pete. Yeah, hope you've had a good week, and you've managed to pick up some bargains. Walk on, always believe. You're welcome, Alan. I hope you enjoy them. If I see a film I think you like, I'll happily get them and send them to you. Oh, thanks very much, mate. I appreciate that. Yeah. As I say, it was a lovely surprise getting those 2 movies. Really made up. I've seen neither of them, so I'll do the video over the weekend, the unboxing. I'll give it a generous shout out as well, mate. Yeah. Dr. Impossible. Bloody hell, Alan, I thought that was a rather good impression. Oh, God. Oh, thanks very much, yeah. I don't think Mike Yarwood's got anything to worry about, or Rory Bremner. Yeah, but, he's a much impersonated man, isn't he, Clint? Let's face it. Tony Crosby. I watched High Plains Drifter and Joe Kidd last night to get in the mood. Oh, yeah. 2 great movies. As I say, I've sent off for the Kino Lorber 4K of High Plains Drifter. As I say, I'm collecting all of Clint's movies on 4K. So I can't wait to get that one. Yeah, that's one of my favourites. That's one of my favourite Clint Eastwood movies, High Plains Drifter. I love the ambiguity about it. It's got like a sort of like it's got like a very sort of like dark aura about it, hasn't it? Like, you don't really know if he's a ghost or not. Oh yeah, it's a fantastic one, that. And I love the part where he takes over the town, and there's a little guy in it, isn't it? And he makes him the sheriff and that, and he sits him on the counter, and all the people are in the bar and that, and he goes, "Any objections?" Yeah, oh, fantastic, yeah. He come up with some fantastic lines, Clint, he really did. Another favourite of mine is, I think it's in, I'm sure it's in Unforgiven, where he says, "Dying ain't much of a living, boy." Yeah, oh yeah, he did. He come out with some fantastic gems, he really did. Right, Screen Stars is saying, Clint Eastwood is my favourite actor. Yeah, he's fantastic, isn't he? Yeah, oh yeah. The man's he's just got talent, hasn't he? Bucket loads, Oh yeah, he really is. He's a wonderful actor. Pete says, I think Tightrope is a fantastic and underrated film. Very giallo-like. It is, Pete, yeah. Tightrope is one of my all-time favourite Clint Eastwood movies. I've got the Blu-ray of that. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a cracking movie, that, Tightrope. Screen Stars, absolutely love Outlaw Josie Wales, yeah. Dirty Harry and Heartbreak Ridge, but he had done so many classics. I know, yeah, definitely, yeah, oh yeah. And his son's the image of him, isn't he? Scott Eastwood, yeah. Oh yeah, when you're looking at him, you're looking at his dad, Alison Eastwood's daughter, she's made a couple of movies as well, yeah. And of course he was married to Sandra Locke for a couple of years, wasn't he? He made a couple of movies with her. That one, The Gauntless. Anybody seen The Gauntless? That scene where he's in the van and that, and all the cops are all lined up, and they fire at the van, and it ends up there's all bullet holes. There's a myriad bullet holes in the van, isn't there? I don't know the hell he bloody survived that. Oh yeah, it always stays in my mind, that scene. Right, Richard Brown saying The Outlaw Josie Wales is another good one. Yeah, definitely. The 70s and 80s expert is asking me your favourite Dirty Harry film. I love them all. Yeah, but if I was really pushed to name one, I'd have to say it was the very first one. The very first Dirty Harry. Yeah, but having said that, I love them all. I can't fault any of them at all. They're all great. The character's fantastic. The way he's sort of like, he's a kind of a rebel, isn't he? Rebels against the law and that. And he does things his way. He administers justice his way. Yeah, fantastic, yeah. And the villains and that, you really hate them, and you really cheer Clint on, don't you, when he corners them with his magnum and that, oh, he's fantastic. Especially the Scorpio Killer, yeah, the first Dirty Harry, where he's on the bus, yeah, and he sings that song, doesn't he? Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Oh yeah, fantastic, yeah, absolute movie magic, really were, yeah. Walk On Always Believe is saying Clint Eastwood's son Scott looks a lot like a young Clint. Yeah, I just said that before. Yeah, he's the image of him, isn't he, Scott Eastwood? Yeah. Right, so the 70s and 80s experts are saying there's a resemblance of Clint and Alan. Oh, I wouldn't say that. Oh. 70s and 80s experts. I like Tightrope as Clint is a Randy Andy. Pete saying Unforgiven is an Unforgiven is an unforgettable film. I'd certainly second that piece. Yeah, it's a fantastic one. Yeah, it won a couple of awards as well, didn't it? Yeah, oh yeah. And Gene Hackman, he's a real vicious swine, isn't he? As the baddie, you know, as an old Bill. Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, and I love the final confrontation as well in that. Yeah, fantastic one. That Morgan Freeman's in it as well, isn't he? Yeah. I love Unforgiven. Richard Brown saying, what about City Heat with Burt Reynolds? Do you know what? I think I've only seen that movie about once, and that was when it first came out on VHS. You know when I got my first VHS recorder back in January 1986. Yeah, that was one of the first ones I rented out. I don't remember too much about it, to be honest. But I'll have to get that. I'll have to get that on Blu-ray, yeah. And if they bring a 4K out, if I like the Blu-ray, I'll probably upgrade to the 4K, yeah. Burt Reynolds, yeah. I've only seen it once, but as I say, I don't remember. I don't remember too much about it, to tell you the truth. Gerard is a movie fan. Hello, Alan and others. Was late for the start. I see that you're almost at the 750 subs. Yeah, then the 4 digits. Oh, thanks very much, Gerard. Yeah. As I say, I've said this many times. When I first started doing my YouTube venture, when COVID started, never did I ever dream I'd get 20 subs, let alone the amount you've basically just quoted there. Over 700 subs. I never believed. I never dreamed, and I know a lot of tubers have said the same thing when he first started the channel. They never envisaged that, eventually it skyrockets, and go into the hundreds and maybe even the thousands, yeah, because there's quite a few YouTubers out there that they've got thousands and thousands of subs, haven't they? Especially some of those American guys, oh yeah, fantastic, yeah. Oh yeah, I love talking about movies, and I was nervous at first when I first started doing it, because I'm not one for speaking in public. I used to hate it when we used to start jobs and that. You had to stand up and talk about yourself for a couple of for a minute or so. I used to hate that, but as I say, the anxiety was there initially, when I first started doing this YouTube venture. But the more I've done it, the more it's become natural. Obviously, there's been a few hiccups along the way when I've been trying to get my head around all the technicalities and that. But I'm getting there and that, just a question of time and everything and that. I sort of like getting everything ship shape before you basically go online, really, yeah. But I've enjoyed it, yeah, absolutely love it, talking about movies. Walk On Always Believe is saying, have you seen Heartbreak Ridge from '86? Yeah, good movie. Yeah, great movie. That's a powerful war film with a powerful role by Clint Eastwood. Oh, he doesn't take any messing, does he? In that, oh, he's real strict in that, isn't he? Yeah. He's put in charge of this unit, isn't he? Yeah. He's fantastic in that. Yeah, he really is. Yeah, he really bangs them into shape, doesn't he? That unit, yeah. Tony Crosby saying, painted the town red in High Plains Drifter. Yeah. I wondered if it's had anything to do with the saying. I wonder if it's had anything to do with the saying. What saying is that? Oh, I know what you mean. Paint the town red, yeah. When you're going for it, yeah. When you're going for a night on the town, yeah. That's right, yeah. I'm going to paint the town red. I'm going to put my glad rags on, yeah. I know what you mean now, yeah. Brian's saying City Heat is a good film, which he co-stars with Burt Reynolds, yeah. As I say, I've only seen it once, so I'll have to revisit it, yeah. All right then, guys. I'm just going to show you my 4Ks now. As I said when I first started, I'm building up my Clint Eastwood collection on 4K. So these are the ones I've got so far. Not all that many, really. I've got for a few dollars more. Fantastic, lovely slipcover. Just look at that. There you go. The man with no name himself. The great Clint Eastwood. Lovely slipcover as well, guys, yeah. There you go. And A Fistful of Dollars. Another man with no name movie. Go. Yeah. So for a few dollars more and fistful of dollars, and to round off the trilogy perfectly is the fantastic and my all-time favourite Western, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Oh, I could sit here all night, guys, offering superlatives how much I love this movie. You know, classic performances by all three protagonists and that, yeah. And oh yeah, such a great story, great twists and that. You know, very entertaining movie, and one of the greatest endings I've ever seen in movie cinema. Well, if you've seen the movie, you'll know exactly what I mean. Yeah. Oh yeah, I absolutely love this movie. You know, absolute classic. Yeah. So there you go. That's me, Man with No Name trilogy. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. A Fistful of Dollars, and for a few dollars more. Yeah. So there you go. And I've got Unforgiven on 4K. There you go. Fantastic movie. And I've got a non-Western of Clint's here, In the Line of Fire. 4K. Yeah, so as I say, they're the 4Ks of Clint's I've got at the moment. I'm waiting for High Plains Drift. They should arrive any day now. Plus, in addition to them, I've got quite a few Blu-rays of Clint's as well. You know, so... but as I say, they're the only 4Ks I've got at the moment of him and that. So, oh yeah, absolutely love his movies. Yeah, he's one of the greatest actors ever. And that squint he has as well. I was watching an interview with him. I think it was recorded a couple of years ago. And he broaches the subject about the squints, and he said that just developed naturally. He said I was just out in the sun and that, and I was just squinting my eyes and that, you know, against the sun's rays, and that. So that was just sort of a natural thing, and it's sort of like it hasn't basically it's become synonymous with him, hasn't it? The famous Clint Eastwood squints and that, yeah. But yeah, that's all it was. He said it just squinting against the sun, yeah. Dr. Impossible is saying, there's one Clint Eastwood film that I seem to head back to a few times. That is Breezy. First directorial film by Eastwood and William Holden. Yeah, and I've got that in the Clint Eastwood, you know, that white box set that came out a couple of years ago. And he's not in it, is he? He just directs it. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that one, Doctor. It's not one of my favourites. Yeah, it's a great box set though. Right. Anybody seen The Bridges of Madison County, where he co-stars? Well, Meryl Streep co-stars with him. I've seen bits of it. I'm not really my cup of tea, because it's more of a love story, isn't it? Yeah. But it's not one of my favourite Clint Eastwood movies. That. Walk On, Always Believe. Clint also has a great presence too. He stands out. Yeah, he's one of these actors, isn't he? He's like he's on the level of Christopher Lee, and it's Sylvester Stallone, John Wayne, stars like that. He's got this great screen. He's got this great screen presence, hasn't he? When he walks into a room and that, all the heads turn and that, especially in the westerns and that, when he comes into town and that, this sort of like this mysterious stranger and that, and just imagine seeing him real. You'd be like that. That's Clint Eastwood. you'd just be gobsmacked, wouldn't you? A huge star like that. Edward's saying, Ian and Alan, you okay, Edward, mate? Thanks for dropping by. Hope you're well. I'm not too bad, thanks, Ed. Yeah, hope you are as well. Oh, you've been watching some good movies. While we're on the subject of movies, guys, getting away from Clint Eastwood just for a bit, I watched that new Terrifier. Well, I've halfway through it, the new Terrifier 2, and up to now, I don't think it's as good as the first one. I don't want to give anything away, but the killings, I tell you what, guys, the killings are pretty brutal. They are brutal with a capital B. But the story, they brought some teenagers in, a teenage family, yeah, but up to now, I've got just over an hour to watch later on, but up to now, I'm not very impressed with it, although, as I say, the killings are pretty gory, but the story, it doesn't seem to grip me as much as the first one, but that's just my opinion, yeah. So there you go. Walk On, Always Believe is saying, it's a Pale Rider where a guy gets picked on and a guy starts a match and Clint chucks a bucket of water on him. I think it might be Pale Rider. It's been a few years since I watched Pale Rider, but yeah, I think you might be right there. Yeah. I tell you another favourite Clint Eastwood movie of mine, Escape from Alcatraz, and I think that's come out in 4K as well. That's a great one, that. Yeah, based on the true story, you know. I like the part where they leave the dummy heads in the bed and that, you know. And I think Clint played a guy called Frank Morrison. I think that was the guy, Frank Morrison. Yeah. Oh, I love Escape from Alcatraz. Yeah, great movie, made in 1979. Gerard is a movie fan. I have the collection box of 61 movies from 1964 to 2018. Bought it on Zavvi. I think I've seen that. Yeah, it's quite big, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Oh, you've got a great purchase there, definitely. Dr. Impossible is saying, Tightrope should have been a Dirty Harry film. Yeah, it is like a Dirty Harry movie, isn't it? Yeah, it's got shades of Dirty Harry. The Deadpool, which marked the end of Dirty Harry, was terrible, right? The script was shocking. Yeah, I don't mind the Deadpool. As I say, I like all the Dirty Harry movies. Oh, I tell you what, one of the ones that really stand out in that franchise was the one with David Solin, where he plays a rogue cop. That's a great one, that. Yeah, oh yeah, he's great in that, David Soul. Yeah. They're like kind of vigilantes, aren't they? You know, sort of like they go around killing criminals and that. Pretty much like Dirty Harry, administering their own brand of justice on the scumbags and that, the criminal scumbags. Yeah, that's a great one, that one. Edward, what's your thoughts on Gran Torino? I love it. Yeah, I love that one, Ed. I love that one, Ed, Gran Torino. Yeah, it's a great movie, that. Yeah, and Clint Eastwood, oh, he's fantastic in it. Yeah, I love Gran Torino. I think that's one of his best movies, yeah. I love that movie. Tony's saying, have you seen Afterlife, directed by Clint? I think that's an underrated film. It's great. I've only seen bits of it. Yeah, I haven't really seen it right through here, so. Fazbear Brothers is saying, one of my favourites, The Gauntlet. Yeah, I like The Gauntlet myself, yeah. I think it was released in, if my memory serves me correctly, 1977. Yeah, it's great, The Gauntlet. I'll have to get the Blu-ray of that. I've only got the DVD at the moment, so I'll have to upgrade that. Yeah. Sandra Locke was in that as well, I seem to recall. She's great in that Dirty Harry one, isn't she? It's a sudden impact where she goes around it. She gets raped, doesn't she? And she goes around again, basically administering her own form of justice and that, shooting them where it really hurts. That's a great one, that. Yeah, I love that one. Miserable Old Git. Hi, Alan and guys. Hope you are well. I've just been rewatching Josie Wales. Great lineup. Don't pee down my back and tell me it's raining. It's a great one, Josie Wales, isn't it? Yeah, fantastic one. Rock and Roll Hell. Evening, young man. Evening. Thanks for turning up. Yeah, cheers. Right, Brian is saying, I really like Kelly's Heroes. That's a great one, that. World War II drama. Donald Sutherland is great in it, yeah. And Where Eagles Dare as well. That's a good Clint Eastwood World War II movie, Where Eagles Dare. I've got to get them on Blu-ray. Yeah, oh yeah, two fantastic war movies there. Walk On Always Believe is saying, did you know Clint was dating Sandra Locke? Yeah. They've also starred alongside each other a few times. Must be nice being in a film with your partner, yeah. So he never married her then? I thought he married her. Oh, he just dated her. All right. I would have sworn he married her. I know. Didn't she have a kid? And he well, this is only what I've read, what I've seen, and that, you know, on YouTube and that, what I've read. He wanted, like, you know, to sort of like an abortion and that. Yeah, but I don't know too much about it and that. It's only what I've seen on YouTube and read and that. Dr. Impossible, The Enforcer had some real sexualised conversations between Tyne Daly and Eastwood, but both of them worked well together on the screen, yeah. Especially the ending on Alcatraz, yeah. Yeah, fantastic, yeah. That's the one where his partner gets killed, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty sad, that one. Richard Brown, apparently when they broke up he sabotaged Sandra's career. Yeah, I don't know too much about that. I've heard sort of like different comments on that and that over the years, but I don't really know the full story of that, so I can't really comment in depth about that. Pete's saying Honky Tonk Man is an underrated Clint film. It's a few years since I saw that one piece, yeah. I seem to remember enjoying it, yeah. I tell you what I did like, Pink Cadillac. Have you seen that one, Pink Cadillac? That's a good one. Yeah, Pink Cadillac. And of course the one where he has the Clyde, the orangutan, that's a good one. Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. Yeah, two great movies. Miss Below, get Firefox, love it. Took a lot of hate, but I love rewatching it, Steve. Yeah, that's another Eastwood movie. It's not really my cup of tea. That's the plane, isn't it? Firefox. Yeah, it's not. That's been a, as much as I love Clint Eastwood, there has been a few ones, meh ones, But the majority have been absolute classics. I'm, very pleased to say. Pete's saying the Jersey Boys was a decent Clint directed film. Yeah, felt like the stage show on the big screen. Yeah, that's the one about the 4 seasons, isn't it? Yeah. I enjoyed that one. Rock and Roll Hell is saying, I'm afraid my Clint knowledge doesn't go any further than the Man with No Name trilogy, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's my favourite Clint Eastwood franchise, The Man with No Name, closely followed by Dirty Harry. Yeah, because I thought, the character he played in those spaghetti westerns was absolutely phenomenal. It really was. He's this mysterious stranger. He didn't say all that much. He just rode into town and that, and he basically sort of like done it. If there was any gold to be had, he was right there. Any baddies to be gotten rid of, he was right there, really on the money. And I love that. I love that trilogy, The Man with No Name. Absolute classics of Western cinema, and this is my favourite one, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. That scene in the graveyard, oh my word, when I first watched that in 1976, I was on the edge of my seat. The big showdown in the graveyard and that, between these three main characters and that. With this gold and that is supposed to be buried in the cemetery. Yeah, oh yeah, this is without doubt, guys. I mean, it's not just my favourite Western, it's one of my all-time favourite movies. Out of the whole, I'm talking about the whole spectrum now of movies. This is in my top 10 of all-time favourite movies, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. And I love these two as well. I love this one as well, for a few dollars more. And I also love this one, a fistful of dollars. But this is the zenith, guys. This is the absolute zenith of that trilogy, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Fantastic movie, and I can put this on any time and watch it and derive just as much enjoyment as I derived as when I first saw it in the mid-70s. Yeah, oh yeah. I love The Man with No Name. Yeah, I love the fact that, like, the character what he plays, he's like grey, isn't he? He's not totally good, and he's not totally bad, if you know what I mean. He's got this, and Clint Eastwood said this himself, that's what makes the character interesting. He's got this grey area, hasn't he? He's not averse. If he wants to be brutal, he can be brutal. But then again, on the other side of the coin, he can be as gentle as a lamb. That part in the Good, the Bad and the Ugly, where that soldier's dying, they've got this big battle, haven't they? The American Civil War, and he's dying, and Clint Eastwood's character, they call him Blondie. In that movie, Blondie, he goes over, doesn't he? Puts his poncho over or a blanket, and he gives him a cigarette and that, and he shows his sort of like humane side. But then again, having said that, he can at the blink of an eye, he can resort back to being a real badass. Oh yeah, he portrayed that character brilliantly, Clint Eastwood. And I believe it's based on the Japanese movie, isn't it? Or what's it called? Is it Juno or Jimbo? I think it's Jimbo. It's based on the Japanese movie Jimbo. Yeah, oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, one of the greatest movies ever made. That Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Absolutely love it. And I'll tell you what I love as well, guys. Not just The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, but I love the theme music. Oh, it sends shivers down my spine every time I listen to that music. The whistling and that. Oh yeah, Ennio Morricone. He done a fantastic job with that music. The greatest Western music I've ever heard. In my life and that. And I say this has got it all, guys. In bucket loads. It's got humour. It's got drama. And as I say, the music and that, oh yeah, and of course Sergio Leone, absolute master of his craft, wasn't he? The way he made those westerns and that. And it went, I believe, like when he first went out there to make them, Clint, he wasn't really expecting them to become as popular as they were. But oh my word, did they make him a star? But of course, he was in Rawhide before that. But it was those westerns that really made him a big name. Yeah. Right, back to the comments. Right, just move with me, guys. They just scrolled up a bit. Right, Fazbear Brothers is saying, one of my favourites is Play Misty for me. Great movie, yeah. And I'm going to get the Kino Lorber of that, because that's got loads of special features on it, which aren't on that one in that white box set, yeah. So that will be another 4K of Clint's. I'm going to get Play Misty for me, yeah. Fantastic. The only thing that spoiled that, I don't know what you guys think about this. The only little thing that spoke that was the part where I think it's around about the middle of the movie, where he goes into this montage of Donna Mills, who plays his girlfriend. He's walking along the beach and that, and he makes love to her, doesn't he? And he played that song, Roberta Flack, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. I think that slows the movie down a bit. I think I found it very intrusive, and I'm not the only one that thinks that, because some of the reviews I've read, a lot of people have said, why did they have to stick that scene in? Because it slowed the movie down, and it was a bit boring, and it seems to go on forever. Well, if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. Yeah. Just think, the Roberta Flack song, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. Every time I hear that song on the wireless, that Roberta Flack, I'm reminded, it evokes the memory of that Clint Eastwood Play Misty for me, where that was played, and it slowed the movie down, guys, for me. I didn't, I think they should have cut that out, to be honest with you. But it's a great movie, regardless. Right, Tony Crosby saying, my favourites are the Clyde movies, yeah? I've watched these films the countless times just to see the magnificent Ruth Gordon rancing, yeah? Yeah. Every Which Way But Loose, yeah. Eddie Rabbit had a hit with that, didn't he? Yeah. Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. Yeah, it's years since I saw them. I don't remember too much about them, but I remember Clyde, the orangutan and that, and all the scrapes he gets into with Clint, yeah. I'll have to revisit them. Walk On Always Believe is saying, have you seen $1 Million Baby? That's the boxing one, isn't it? Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that one, where Clint plays a boxing coach. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that one at all. And Gran Torino, great movie, I love that one, where he plays an old war hero. Yeah, I love Gran Torino. Fantastic films. I cry every time I see them. Yeah, very emotionally. Yeah, I love Gran Torino. Yeah, and of course, I won't. If anybody hasn't seen Gran Torino, I won't spoil the ending. But it's a classic movie. That one of his best. Right, Miserable Old Giss is saying, Pale Rider is a bit like Shane, but still one of my favourites, Steve. Yeah, Shane, Alan Ladd. Yeah, that's a classic one, that, isn't it? Classic Western Shane. Yeah, but yeah, I love Pale Rider. Another. I tell you guys, another favourite Clint Eastwood Western of mine is Two Mules for Sister Sarah. Has any of you seen that one with Shirley MacLaine, where he plays a kind of a man with no name character in that? He saves her, like she's getting raped in the deserts and that. The Western, the plains and that, and he sort of like intervenes and saves, and the story basically just carries on from that scene basically. But it's got a big twist in it. I won't reveal what the twist is in case you haven't seen it. But I hope they release that one on 4K. Two Mules for Sister Sarah. That's a great movie. That. And Shirley MacLaine's fantastic in that as the nun. There's another Clint Eastwood movie I'm not too keen on, guys. One of his later ones is the one the baseball. What is it? Was it called? Whole Curve? Something Curve. I wasn't too keen on that. Yeah, I'm not really into baseball. Yeah, as I said before, there's only a small amount of Clint Eastwood movies that have disappointed me. Most of them have been fantastic, but yeah, I wasn't too keen on that one where he's playing baseball. Dr. Impossible is saying, I didn't mind Firefox, but the effects work cost more than the film, right? The effects team even built a full-scale mock-up of the plane. Oh. It costs about $1 million alone. Good grief, yeah, that's a lot of money, that, isn't it? Yeah, as I say, it's not one of me. It's not one of my favourite Clint Eastwood movies, Firefox. Miserable Old Guess, In the Line of Fire, great 4K. Yeah, oh yeah, I made up, but I haven't watched it yet. So I might watch it over the weekend. Actually, yeah, I love that cover as well. Yeah, In the Line of Fire. Yeah. Right, Walk On Always Believe is saying, speaking of the good, the bad, the ugly, what a great sound. I know, yeah, what a great soundtrack indeed, yeah. Fantastic, yeah. Oh yeah, it sends shivers down my spine every time that, and the visuals as well. You know, we got like the sort of like the figure on the horse and that, and the gunshots. Oh, that's one of the greatest Western themes ever made, that. The good, the bad and the ugly, yeah. And actually got into the charts as well. I think it was around about 1965. It actually got into the charts, yeah. It was a slightly different version of it, but yeah, it's the same tune, obviously, and that. But oh yeah, fantastic! I love the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, as I could sit here all nice, uttering superlatives about how much I love that movie. Yeah, it's great. And now I've said this before. I'm not a great Western fan. I'm not keen on westerns, but that one, oh my word, is that a real roller coaster ride? They should have made more man with no name movies, in my opinion. But I tell you what, they'd have had the job topping that one. Right, Gerard is a movie fan is saying, I have the collection box with 61 films, right? Bought on Zavi, was 300 plus euros, not a second regret. My favourite is Paint Your Wagon. Oh, that's the one where he sings, isn't it? I talk to the trees, but they don't listen to me, with Lee Marvin. Yeah, I was born under a wandering star, yeah. Completely different than what he usually made. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Paint Your Wagon. No, I'm not too keen on it. My mum didn't like it either. She went to see it at the cinema, and she was bored senseless. Yeah, not one of my favourite Eastwood movies. Tony Crosby is saying, True Crime is a good one. Yeah, definitely. Bloodwork's not too bad as well. Bloodwork. Richard Brown, Coogan's Bluff was an interesting one. Yeah, I like Coogan's Bluff. Yeah, I've got that in the white box set of that. You know, Clint Eastwood movies. Yeah, it's a good one. That I think he made it round about, was it 1968 or 69? Yeah, late 60s he made it. Yeah, it's a good one. Coogan's Bluff. Miserable is saying, play Misty for me. When the woman is standing over him, scissors in hand, still makes me jump. Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, she's a great actress there. Great actress, the lady who played that character. Oh, she was crackers, wasn't she? Absolute nuts. And where she tried to commit suicide and that, you know. Yeah, and where she sort of like she intrudes, doesn't he, when he's meeting a female business associate and that. And she intrudes, doesn't she? Makes a show of him. Oh yeah, that's a great one. That play Misty for me. Yeah. Yeah, and he played. Yeah, he's a late night disc jockey, isn't he? Yeah, yeah, and he goes now. This is a song, you know. His customary laid back Clint voice. This is a song for all. I can't remember the words exactly. This is a song for all you lovers on a cool night. Play Misty for me. Yeah. Oh, he's great in that. Well, he's great in every movie, isn't it? Let's face it. Directed it as well himself. Dr. Impossible is saying, I think the reason why the town was painted red in High Plains Drifter was to do with the fact that Eastwood's character was the avenging angel of death, or Satan in disguise. Yeah, good points, yeah. Tony Crosby saying, I love Bronco Billy. I've only seen that once in the 80s. I don't remember too much about that. That movie gets knocked as well, right? Yeah, is that the one where he has a cough, he's dying? And he's like a rodeo rider. Yeah, I've only seen that once. I tell you another Clint Eastwood movie, guys. I wasn't too keen on. White Hunter, Black Horse. Yeah, any of you guys seen that? Yeah, I wasn't. Didn't he play? Was it John Huston he played? Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that one. White Hunter, Black Horse. Richard Brown saying he calls the town hell in High Plains Drifter. Hence the red, rice, yeah. Another huge favourite Eastwood movie of mine is the Beguiled. I think he made that in 1971. That's a great one. That again at the ending and that. I won't. If you haven't seen it, I won't give away the ending. But it's like a punch in the face, basically. You know. But yeah. So if you haven't seen the Beguiled, check that one out. That's one of his best. Right. Gerard is a movie fan. Sorry for the almost same text. I thought I deleted the short version. Oh, no worries, mate. Walk On Always Believe is saying, I'm not a huge Western fan, but I love Kirk Douglas, Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood, yeah. But when people say Western, most people initially think of Clint Eastwood or John Wayne. Yeah, well, there's been different kinds of Westerns, hasn't there? You know, there's been the Westerns like that are a bit sort of like corny, where they're all sort of like dressed dead smart and that, as if they come out of Burton's. Well, the real Wild, if you read your Wild West history, it wasn't anything like that. They were very, very, you know, a lot of most of the cowboys, they were very scruffy and that, you know, and the clothes were very dusty and that, you know, very, very sort of like basic clothes and that, you know, and it wasn't as romanticised as it is in some of these Hollywood movies, yeah. But I think Sergio Leone did a fantastic job portraying, you know, the Old West with those spaghetti westerns and that, yeah. While we're on the subject of spaghetti westerns, guys, there's one that Clint Eastwood's not in it. I was just wondering what you guys think of it. Once Upon a Time in the West. Do you like that one? I hated it. I couldn't understand what all the fuss was. It was boring. I found the story crap. The characters were crap. I can't understand why that's a much loved movie. That Once Upon a Time in the West. I didn't like it at all. Not a patch on Clint Eastwood's movies. Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Once Upon a Time in the West. But if you've seen it, let me know your views on it. I hated it. I thought when I first sat down to watch it, I thought it was going to be in for another treat, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But God, was I bored. Melanie's saying my favourite movie is Play Misty for me. It's a great one, that, Mel. Yeah, real good psychological thriller. Very, very, very reminiscent of Fatal Attraction. Yeah, fantastic. That's one of Clint's bests. Love that one. He's man of many parts, Clint, isn't he? I mean, remember when he became mayor of Carmel? I think it was round about round about the mid-80s. He became mayor, didn't he? And he brought all the ice creams back and that. Yeah, he done a little bit of political activities there, didn't he? In between making his movies. Graham Powell saying, years ago I went into 58 Dean Street record shop in London. I bought the soundtrack for Coogan's Bluff, right? The chap at the shop said, you like Eastwood? I say yes. He said he was in here 5 minutes ago. I wonder if he was telling the truth there. Yeah, well, you know, he could have been, couldn't he? You know, I know my mum worked in years ago. My mum worked in Reese's in Liverpool. You know, Liverpool City Centre, and she was on a dinner, and a big actor, and she just missed him by I think it was about 5 minutes. A very big, famous British actor, Kenneth More. Any of you guys know Kenneth More? Made a lot of war movies and that. He took Father Brown off as well in the 70s in that series. Yeah, he came in, and I think he bought a bag of biscuits and that. Oh yeah. When my mum went back to work, a co-workers, he said, you know, guess who's just been in here. And my mum said who? He said Kenneth More, and my mum was gobsmacked. She just missed him by 5 minutes. Yeah, he's a great actor, Kenneth More. Yeah. Dr. Impossible, Pale Rider is similar to High Plains Drifter. Yeah, there are certain similarities. Yeah. Richard Brown, did you like the Eiger Sanction? That's the one with the mountain, isn't it? I thought that was a very average Eastwood movie, yeah, but not one of my favourites, I have to say, the Eiger Sanction. Wasn't a guy killed making that? I'm sure a guy got killed making that, the Eiger Sanction. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure there was a tragedy, you know, when he was making that movie, the Eiger Sanction. Right, Dr. Impossible is saying, Play Misty is Hitchcock by Eastwood, yeah, I'd certainly second that. But it's a good film. Don Siegel as a bar manager, the very man who lifted Eastwood to stardom, and Dirty Harry as a director, yeah. Walk On Always Believe says, imagine if Clint, Bronson, Kirk Douglas, Gregory Peck, John Wayne, James Coburn, Lee Marvin, Anne Margaret, Maureen Shara in a western together. Hollywood who's who there. I know a great cast doesn't mean a great film, but wow. I know, yeah, definitely wow. Yeah, oh yeah, some great actors there you've quoted. Fantastic. There's another Clint Eastwood movie, guys, I'm not really keen on. That's the one where he goes into space. He's got is it Burt Reynolds? He's among this group of astronauts and that. Is it Space, or what's it called? Is it called Space Cowboys? Any of you seen that one? I wasn't too keen on that. Thought that was a bit boring. Tony Crosby. Clint's also a great film music composer as well. He has done some great film themes, especially Unforgiven. Yeah, he's a big fan of jazz, isn't he? He directed that movie Bear, didn't he? About the jazz musician Charlie Parker. Yeah, not really into jazz myself, but believe he did a great job on that actually. Miserable old guess is saying, good, bad, ain't the ugly, has some great one-liners. I know, yeah. I love that part where, Eli Wallach's character, he's running away from Clint, isn't he? And there's this big cannon, this war cannon, and Clint's standing by it, and Clint calmly, he strikes a match, doesn't he? And he ignites the cannon, and the cannon, fires a shot, and it knocks bloody Eli Wallach off his horse and that, yeah? Oh, he's a right twister, and that, wasn't he? Eli Wallach's character, it was a Tuso. I think the character he played was called Tuso. Yeah. Oh yeah. He was like his partner first, wasn't he? And then he had a falling out and that. And but then when Eli Wallach character that Clint knew exactly. I think he knew where one knew where the cemetery was, and one knew where the grave was. When he knew where Clint knew where the grave was, he sort of like was all over him then, wasn't he? He couldn't do enough for him and that. After him taking him into the desert and nearly killing him. Walking through that heat and that. He changed his tune, didn't he? Oh, he's a very entertaining character in that. Eli Wallach, yeah. Oh gosh, some fantastic scenes in that, as I say. Walk On, Always Believe. Is Frankenstein your favourite all-time film, or is it your favourite as in horror? It's the movie that got me into horror, and it's me. If I was pushed, my all-time favourite horror movie, I'd have to say Boris Karloff's Frankenstein 1931, closely followed by Christopher Lee's Dracula. Yeah, but as I said many times, Frankenstein 1931 was a movie that made me a horror fan. When I first watched it in my old black and white telly in the late 60s, I became a horror fan right from that moment. I don't think Boris Karloff has been bettered in terms of other actors having a go at the Frankenstein monster. I think Boris Karloff was the best because he brought pathos to the role. As I've said many times, he didn't just play him as this like lumbering, mindless Bruce. He injected a lot of pathos into the role, pretty much as Lon Chaney Jr. injected a lot of pathos into the role of Lawrence Talbot, when he played the Wolfman. But oh yeah, Karloff, he should have made more Frankenstein movies in my opinion, playing the monster, that is. But yeah, I love Frankenstein. I'm actually going to do a Frankenstein special soon, guys, so watch out for that. Walk On, Always Believe is saying, and yes, Clint Eastwood was married to Sandra Locke. Yeah, but here in the West Midlands, if someone is married, we call it dating, right? Yeah. Tony Crosby, Clint, Bronson and Van Cleef are my favourite action stars. I certainly agree with that. Absolute icons of cinema. Have you seen Lee Van Cleef in the Sparta movies? He's quite good in them. Lee Van Cleef, yeah, he's a great actor in. I always remember that series he was in, The Master. I think it was shown in the late 80s or early 90s. He used to come on late at night where he was into kung fu. Wasn't too keen on it, like, cause I'm not a great fan of kung fu. But yeah, he's a great actor, Lee Van Cleef. Walk On, Always Believe. Is Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can But Loose any good with Clyde the cute orangutan? Yeah, good fun movies. Yeah. Not to be taken too seriously, like, they're sort of like fun movies. Yeah, but yeah, they're good. Yeah. I haven't watched them for a while. Like, as I say, I'll have to upgrade them to Blu-ray. I've only got the DVD at the moment. Miserable Old Git. Two Mules, great movie, love it. Yeah, Two Mules for Sister Sarah. It's a great one, isn't it? Yeah, Shirley MacLaine, love that movie. Walk On, Always Believe. I love Clint's dry attitude in Gran Torino. Oh, he's noted for his dry attitude, isn't he? Yeah, he's very, very cool, calm and collected, but he can come out with a real icy mark that can sort of like get your jaw dropping. Oh yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, he doesn't say much in a lot of his movies. Doesn't say all that much, but when he comes out with it, he comes out with it. I love that squints. Brian Gilson, do you like Space Cowboys? I was just saying before, I didn't like that one at all. Thought it was boring. The Rookie was another one I wasn't too keen on, with there's a Charlie Sheen. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on The Rookie. Tony Crosby, The Trouble with the Kid. That's the one. So, The Trouble with the Kid, the baseball one. I didn't like that. Yeah, I didn't like that one at all. Well, to be honest, it's very rare that you get an actor. Every single movie is great. That takes some doing, doesn't it? Every single movie, what they made over the years. I can't think of one actor that, I'm talking about actors now that's made a lot of movies, not just actors that's made 2 or 3 or 4 and they've all been good. I'm talking about big name actors that's made tons and tons of movies. You can't get every single movie, top class. It's impossible. There's got to be a couple of turkeys along the way. Even Peter Cushing, he's made a few bad ones. Christopher Lee's made a few bad ones. Charles Bronson's made a few bad ones, as I say. And the same with Clint. You can't get every... But then it's all a matter of opinion, isn't it? One man's meat is another man's poison. As I like to say when I do my reviews, that's just my opinion. We've all got our opinions, haven't we, about movies otherwise. And I think that makes it fun, talking about movies, like we all have our own opinions on them. And that makes the discussion more fun. Because if we agreed on every single thing, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? But yeah, as I say, it's very, impossible to get every single movie 100%. Dr. Impossible. It's often been talked about that John Wayne was up for the role of Dirty Harry. I believe Frank Sinatra was up for the role of Dirty Harry as well, from what I can gather. Warner's gave Wayne McQueen to relaunch Wayne's career after the dip in the Western genre. Right? One of my favourite John Wayne movies is True Grit. Love that one with Kim Darby in. I haven't seen the remake, by the way, guys. And have you seen the remake of True Grit? What did you think of it? The 70s and 80s expert Gran Torino sees Clint's character dying at the end. Oh, spoilers! Naughty. He's shot by the bully gang, yeah. Moving on. That's for anybody who hasn't seen the movie. I'm not being funny or anything. I'm just, anybody hasn't seen Gran Torino, so you've bloody spoke the ending for me now. But thanks for the comments anyway. Right, moving on. Miserable old Git. The Gauntless, where the police fire guns on the house till it falls down. Yeah, it's a good one, The Gauntless. I like The Gauntless. And as I say, the scene with the van, all the pot marks, all the bullet holes. Don't know how you bloody survived that. Dr. Impossible saying McQueen bombed at the box office, but Wayne does play a prototype Callahan in that film. So it's a good indicator to what would have happened had Eastwood stuck his nose up to Dirty Harry. Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? Pete's saying the Eiger Sanction was a fun film. Yeah, as I said before, that's the one with he climbs the mountain, isn't it? Yeah, where the guy had an accident. Yeah, a lot of people do like that one. Pete's saying again, Play Misty for me definitely feels like a very early slasher. Yeah, definitely, Pete. Yeah. It's got a very dark atmosphere, that, hasn't it? Yeah, and as I say, that woman who he has the brief fling, which is an absolute psychopath. She really is. Yeah, that's a great movie, that Play Misty for me. Miserable old Git is saying, love the movie Absolute Power. Yeah, is that the one with that's the one with Gene Hackman, isn't he? Plays the is that the one where he plays the president? And it's Clint, isn't he a thief? And doesn't he overhear or see Gene Hackman carrying on with a girl? And is that the one, Absolute Power? I think that's the one, actually. Right, Walk On Always Believe. Clint Eastwood is one of those rare actors who can play any role. Yeah, I'd certainly second that. Western, bare knuckle, boxer, detective, yeah. Boxing coach, definitely, yeah. War hero, yeah. Sergeant, he's a great all-round actor, a rare talent, definitely, yeah. I'd certainly agree with you there, yeah. He's a fantastic, yeah. A man of many parts, a man of many faces, and when he plays a role, especially in those westerns, he really plays the role good, yeah. Oh, he's a Hollywood legend, isn't he? Let's face it. He's one of the top stars I'd love to meet, Clint Eastwood. Walk On Always Believe. Is Joe Kidd good with John Saxon? Yeah, it's a good movie. Good movie, Joe Kidd. Yeah. I'll tell you another good Clint Eastwood movie, guys. I've just got the Blu-ray of it. Hang 'em High. Anybody seen Hang 'em High? That's a good one. Yeah, I got the Blu-ray dead cheap on was it Amazon? I think it was Amazon, yeah. Hang 'em High, yeah. It's been a few years since I've seen it, so I don't remember every single thing about it. But from what I can remember, I did enjoy it. So, you know, I'm looking forward to revisiting that. So check out, if you haven't checked it out already, Hang 'em High, great Western. He was in Rawhide for a few years as well, wasn't he? Before he struck fame with the spaghetti westerns. Rowdy Yates, he played in Rawhide, didn't he? Dr. Impossible saying, "I'm not forgetting the outrageous The Rookie with with Dipstick Sheen." Dipstick Sheen. Somebody's been watching Only Fools and Horses. And the late great Raul Julia. Yeah, I'm not a great fan of The Rookie. Yeah, one of his the ones I least like about least favourite Clint Eastwood movies. Right, Tony Crosby saying, "I love The Beguiled." Yeah, great movie. I haven't seen the remake any good. I haven't seen the remake so I can't really comment on that. But yeah, I love The Beguiled. Yeah, great movie. Oh, he definitely had his cake and eating it there, didn't he? In a house full of women. Miserable Old Git, Where Eagles Dare, great movie, Blu-ray, and a good book. Yeah, I'll have to add Where Eagles Dare to my Blu-ray collection. Yeah, isn't Ingrid Pitt in that? The girl who was in the Hammer movies. Yeah, I'm sure she's in that. Ingrid Pitt. Zammy Adams, Thunderbolts and Lightfoot is my favourite Clint movie. Yeah, as I said before, I'm not really keen on that one, but I do know, a lot of people, do actually like that movie, but it's not for me. Richard Brown, not a Clint film, but what about A Fistful of Dynamite? I think I've seen that one on one of the satellite channels, A Fistful of Dynamite. Yeah, it's spaghetti western, isn't it? I don't remember too much about it, but I'm sure I've seen that one. Yeah, it's a type of title you would expect The Man with No Name to be in. Yeah, actually, talking about The Man with No Name, they actually done a couple of novels of him, following on from these The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, The Fistful of Dollars. They actually did a series of novels of The Man with No Name, The Man with No Name, but I haven't read them, but yeah, I think they've done about 4 or 5 of them. I think one was A Coffin Full of Dollars. Imagine if that had been made into a movie starring our favourite guy here. Yeah. If any of you guys read those novels, let me know what you thought of them. Tony Crosby, I love Once Upon a Time in the West and the American one. Oh, right. Yeah, I do know a lot of people, as I say, some people, it's a movie that's got its fans. It's one of those Marmite movies, isn't it? Yeah, Once Upon a Time in America, that was the gangster one, wasn't it? Yeah, again, I wasn't too keen on that one. But as I say, it's the Marmite movies, really. The doctor's saying Sonia Braga was also with Raul Julia in The Rookie, right? That woman turned me on. Such a hot madam. Yeah. Had to cool yourself down every time you put that movie on. Miserable Old Git. Once Upon a Time in the West. Love, but my wife says the same as you. Hates it. Yeah, I didn't like it. It bored me to tears. It was slow. It was ponderous. Oh yeah, I watched it a couple of times, and just can't get into it at all. There's a few movies like that where I've given them another go and a third go, and I still can't get into them. Insidious. It's sort of broaching the subject of horror. Not Insidious. Or that one, Hereditary. That's another one I've watched a few times. I still can't get myself to like it. The Thing, that's another one. Watched it a few times. It still doesn't do anything for me at all. So there you go. Tony Crosby, A Perfect World is good as well. Yeah, not too keen on that one. Dr. Impossible, A Perfect World is a fine Eastwood film indeed. Graham Powell. That's why he was on 58 Dean Street. He was buying jazz. He was in London at the time filming Firefox. Not one of my favourites. I don't like Firefox Grey. No, the airplane. Yeah, I didn't like that one at all. I tell you what I was disappointed with, guys. This last one. True Macho, didn't like that. There was no story to it, you know. And of course, looking at Clint now, he's really advancing in years, isn't he? You know, he can't really do the tough guy roles anymore. Yeah, I didn't like that. Cry Macho. I didn't like the other one either, The Mule. I mean, I know a lot of people do like that. I hated it. I hated those two movies, and I love Clint Eastwood. You know, I wouldn't be doing this live stream if I didn't love him. But I have to say, there's been a few movies where I've been very, very disappointed in, you know, what he's made. But yeah, I'm not a fan of those two at all. Miserable Old Gis, Bloodway, good movie, yeah. Guys, I'm just going to broach the subject of Clint Eastwood books now. Have any of you guys read a good Clint Eastwood biography? What you can recommend? I've read two a couple of years ago. One was by a guy called, was it Richard Schickel or Schickel? Got to be careful. You got to be careful how you say that, haven't you? Richard Schickel. I did say Schickel. And there's another one as well. I can't remember who wrote that, but they were okay. Yeah, they're sort of like they've done their own slants on it and that. Yeah, but I'd love to see a really good ultimate Clint Eastwood biography. You know, a real big thick one like they've done one of John Wayne a couple of years ago. Absolutely massive book, real thick tome. You know, so yeah, if you've got any good Clint Eastwood books in your collection, what I may have missed, let me know. Yeah, I know there's one. There's one he made where Clint Eastwood in his own words. I wouldn't mind getting that one, where it's all sorts like all interviews been put together with the great man, you know. So I'd like to get that one. Yeah, Clint Eastwood in his own words. But yeah, let me know if you've got any good Clint Eastwood books in your book collection. Walk On, Always Believe. I've not seen Unforgiven. I own it, but not seeing it. But great cast, and Gene Hackman is another great actor. Yeah, definitely. Underrated too. Sorry for asking the horror question. Don't worry about it. You know, as I say, although this is a Clint Eastwood special, feel perfectly free to to answer, roll out some horror questions and that, because horror's my favourite subject, and I'm always open to horror discussions and that. So don't feel you've got to just sort of like keep it centred on Clint. Ask other questions as well, but that's the main theme, Clint Eastwood. But as I haven't said that, ask me anything about movies in general. I'm always happy, to answer your questions and that. Don't feel you've got to limit yourself, to just Clint Eastwood. Ask me other type of questions as well. I'm open to anything, particularly horror. No, I don't read rubbish like that. Sorry. The 70s and 80s expert Morgan Freeman character dies on Unforgiven. Great film. Graham Powell. The first time I saw Clint at the cinema was in 1969 with Eagles There. Yeah, great film. Yeah. Richard Burton's in that as well, isn't he? Tony's saying, it's amazing when we talk about Clint. All these great movies come flooding back to your memory. I know, yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh, yeah. When I first got my VHS recorder in January of 1986, among the first movies what I rented were Clint Eastwood movies, yeah. And, oh, by golly, did I enjoy them. Especially Sudden Impact, oh, yeah, love that one. Yeah, Heartbreak Ridge. Love that one. Oh yeah, the spaghetti westerns and that. Yeah, oh yeah. He's made so many classics, hasn't he? He's just a fantastic actor, and he brings his own sort of like take on these characters to the table, doesn't he? He does something different in every movie in that. But oh yeah, he's one of the best actors, Clint. Definitely. Dr. Impossible. Paint Your Wagon was a yawn fest for me. I didn't like it either, Doctor. Paramount executives apparently walked out of a test screening of the film. Oh, I didn't know that. Understandable, Lee Marvin singing was enough. It's a good job he's not standing right behind you. Yeah, I didn't like Paint Your Wagon. Pete's saying Lee Marvin and Wandering Star, that was enough for me. I was born under a wandering star. Yeah. That was a big hit though, believe it or not. I think that actually got to number one, Pete, in was it 1970? I'm sure it was 1970. Yeah, I was born under a wandering star. He sings it very, very deep, doesn't he? Yeah. I Talk to the Trees though. Oh my word. Clint Eastwood singing I Talk to the Trees. Dr. Impossible, Yeah, Pete Lee Marvin with those red undies. I think you're talking about Mayfair, wouldn't you? The way he walked in the film looked like he's bleep bleep. Sorry, Alan, but it's the Wandering Star truth. Yeah. No expletives, please, but I know what you mean. Tony's saying, on a different subject, those Sabata movies are really good. Yeah, they are. Definitely. Right, moving on. Dr. Impossible saying, yeah, there was a death on the Eiger sanction. Yeah, thought so. I do remember the guy's name too, David Knowles, yeah? But I don't know whether he was UK or US crew. Eastwood was heavily criticised on that film, yeah. Yeah, it reminded me of the, what's the name as well, that tragedy. Any of you guys remember the Noel Edmonds, the Late Breakfast show that was shown in the 80s where a guy died, didn't he, in the stunts and that, and he took the show off right away? It reminded me of that. I hate to hear that. Tragedies like in films and that, on the sets of films and TV shows, yeah. It's horrible to hear that, like, you know, it really is. And like some of these movies, isn't it, was supposed to be cursed, you know, people's died and that, you know, like, so The Omen and The Exorcist. I believe, while we're on the subject, guys, I believe Eli Roth, I'm sure it was Eli Roth, he done a documentary about cursed movies, yeah, strange things happened on the set and that, yeah, it's supposed to have, like, this aura about them, yeah, oh yeah, they always hate to hear tragedies like that. Right, Tony Crosby saying, I can remember the Edge Western books in the 70s, and they had similar covers to The Man with No Name. The Edge Western books, they could be the ones, you know. Yeah, it had photograph. Well, it had illustrations on the front of The Man with No Name and his poncho and that. So they could very well be the books I was referring to earlier. Well, I can't wait to get High Plains Drifter on 4K. You know, Kino Lorber. I'm a great fan of Kino Lorber. You know, as I say, those releases there, they've done a fantastic job with them and that. You know, so it'll be great adding the as I say, the High Plains Drifter to me. You know, my Clint Eastwood 4K collection. I'm really getting into 4K now. But what I do, I actually I make sure first that it's worth upgrading, you know, before I venture to buy, because I've heard. Now, I'll give you an example, guys. You know that Planes, Trains and Automobiles, I've heard a lot of bad things about the picture quality on that is very lackluster. So I don't think I'll be getting that. I want one YouTuber even said you'd be better off sticking with the DVD. You know, so that's how bad it is. And that. Have any of you guys picked that up? That Planes, Trains and Automobiles, you know, the 4K. What did you think of it? Yeah, you've got to be very careful with some of these 4Ks, you know. The picture is not, you know, you might as well stick with the Blu-ray or DVD. When you sort of like think like DVD to Blu-ray, there's a big jump, isn't there, in quality, but not so much with the Blu-ray to 4K, if you know what I mean. A lot of the 4Ks have just got sort of like very minimal difference, you know, when you upgrade to the 4K. And then on the other side of the coin, you get 4Ks that are really good. I mean, Elvis Blue Hawaii, that's a fantastic upgrade, that from the DVD. I had the old DVD, but lovely picture quality. I'm very pleased with that Blue Hawaii. Yeah, I've started to collect Elvis's movies on 4K and Blu-ray, so oh yeah, that's a great one. That I believe that 4K of the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation is quite good. I like the cover of that. I watched the guy before on YouTube, he was showing it off and that, and oh yeah, lovely cover and that, and I believe the picture quality is absolutely pristine on that one, yeah. The National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. Right, Graham's saying, Graham Powell, he used the same gun and holster and rawhide that he used in the Dollar films. Oh, I don't know about that. Walk on, always believe. Gran Serena was full of great quotes. Get off my lawn, get me another beer, Dragon Lady. I once fixed a door that wasn't even broken yet. I'll blow a hole in your face and sleep like a baby. I love those one-liners. I say that one where he says, dying it, much of a living, boy. Yeah, I think that was in Unforgiven. Yeah, dying ain't much of a living. And I say, Dirty Harry, when he says about, he describes the handgun, doesn't he? This like he sort of like describes the make of the gun, doesn't he? And this will blow your head clean off. You got to ask yourself one question: do I feel lucky Well, do ya, punk? Oh yeah, that one of those memorable scenes in movie history. That scene with Dirty Harry, where he's standing over the the villain and that, oh yeah, and you really cheer for him, don't you? When he gets his own back on the criminals, like he did with Charles Bronson and Death Wish, you really sort of like, I believe, I don't know if you heard this story, guys, but I believe when Death Wish was shown, it first came out, and I think it was in '74. Everybody in the audience cheered when he dispatched the criminals and that, the muggers and that. Everybody went, "Yeah, go ahead, Charlie, go ahead, Charlie." yeah, they cheered him on. Because he was getting his own back. He was sort of like, again, he was rebel against the useless police departments in that particular area of America at the time, and he sort of like he sort of like went about dealing out justice his own way, didn't he? What happened to his wife and his daughter was horrendous. But oh yeah, they all cheered him on when he actually went round shooting the criminals and that. You can quite imagine as well. Right. Gerard, as a movie fan, is saying, what about the movie Revenge of the Creature, 1955, where he's a lab worker? Oh yeah, I broached that one before. Yeah, he's a lab assistant, isn't he? Yeah, a very, very young Clint Eastwood. Yeah, and he was in Tarantula, wasn't he? Wasn't he in an airline where he's trying to bomb the spider? Wasn't he one of the fellas in the airline fighters, the pilots driving the plane? Richard Brown, the Edge books are great, but actually the Adam Steele books are really like Clint Eastwood films, right? Walk On Always Believe is saying Gran Torino is my favourite Clint Eastwood film. It has action, great characters, great story. It's funny. It is funny, yeah. It has got its funny moments. It's heartwarming, yes, emotional, yeah. It has great quotes, yeah. Some great one-liners and that. It's rewatchable and powerful, yeah. It's a great one, Gran Torino, yeah. Tony's saying, I don't care much for westerns, especially I could take it from this. You're not a John Wayne fan, then, especially John Wayne, but love Clint's and other spaghetti westerns. Yeah, same here. I do like some of John Wayne's movies because let's face it, he's another American icon, isn't he? But I don't like every single one. I'll give you an example. My mum likes Chisholm. I don't like it. I thought it was boring, very, very long as well. Chisholm. Any of you guys seen Chisholm? But I do like the fact that Linda Day George is in it, one of my favourite American actresses. But yeah, I'm not too keen on Chisholm. I've got the Blu-ray of that. The Alamo is one of my favourite John Wayne movies, and She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. But I don't like all of them. Oh, the one where he made with Dean, The Sons of Casey Elder. That's not a bad John Wayne movie. And and I say the Alamo and that. But yeah, I don't like all of his movies. Stagecoach was a big one for him, wasn't it? In the 30s. Yeah, but I do prefer Clint Eastwood's. Well, as you just said there, Clint Eastwood's spaghetti westerns. Yeah, I said you've done a great job with the soundtrack as well. The absolutely iconic, that music. Walk On Always Believe is saying, I'd love to watch Gran Torino for the first time again. Yeah, it's a great movie, Gran Torino. If any of you guys on here haven't seen it, check it out. It's one of Clint's best. It really is. You'll have a good time with it. He's tough as old boots, he is, and that. Richard Brown, Lee Marvin might not be great. Here we go again about Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin singing. Lee Marvin might not be a great singer, but he's a great cinema hard man. He is. Yeah, he is one badass. He really is. Yeah. He played. I remember one movie. He played an army general. Was it The Dirty Dozen? And he was just as merciless as Clint Eastwood was in Heartbreak Ridge, just as forceful, demanded attention, discipline, and he can be a great, he can play a great hard man. Lee Marvin, he was good in Cat Ballou. Do you know, cheers, since I saw Cat Ballou, don't remember liking it too much. It wasn't one of my favourites. Isn't Jane Fonda in that as well? Didn't Nat King Cole had a hit with the song Cat Ballou? I'm sure it was Nat King Cole. So it was Jane Fonda, yeah. Brian's saying it was a good funny movie, right? Dr. Impossible. Marvin was a great action actor. He was great in A Dirty Dozen and Prime Cuts with Gene Hackman, yeah. But Marvin was brilliant in Death Hunt. I haven't seen that one, Death Hunts, and having Marvin Robert Shaw in an Avalanche Express. I haven't seen that one either. He's a very serious actor, Lee Marvin. You know, oh yeah, I've seen him interviewed a couple of times, and he's very, very, very serious. Yeah, he's been on Parky. Walk On, Always Believe, Gran Torino and Last Night in Soho are the only two films I ever saw where when they finished, I just stared at the screen for a few. I kind of went blank and numb. Right? Those two films hit me incredibly powerful. I know, yeah. I felt the same when I watched The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. You know, when I first watched it in 1976. I said to my mum and dad, God, that was an awesome western. That I never saw a western like that. It had me gripped from start to finish. There wasn't one single poor moment in that movie, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. And as I say, not just one of me all-time favourite westerns of all time, but actually one of my all-time favourite movies of all time, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. It's an absolute masterpiece of cinema. It really is. Dr. Impossible, Avalanche Express is bleep bleep. But I do like Marvin and Robert Shaw and sexy Linda Evans. Linda Evans was in The Big Valley, wasn't she? And then she went on to, didn't she? She was in Dynasty, wasn't she? She played the rich people, the family in Dynasty. It was the Carringtons, wasn't it? Forsyth, the actor. Was it James Forsyth? Richard Brown. You should do a Bronson live stream, Alan. Funny enough, I'm thinking about doing that. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I like doing these special theme nights, you know, actors and that, and genre movies and that. But yeah, a Bronson movie is definitely in the offing. You watch this space. Graham Powell, I love the music to Dirty Harry and Magnum Force by Lalo Schifrin. Didn't he do the theme for Jaws, Lalo Schifrin? Walk On, Always Believe. Did he fire 6 shots or 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and it'll blow your head clean off, you got to ask yourself one question. Sorry, I got carried away there, guys. Yeah, word for word there. Yeah, the famous quote from Dirty Harry. Yeah, where he's calling the punk. Yeah, fantastic. They actually, I don't know if you know this, guys, but they actually, was it the time when Sudden Impact came out? They actually made a movie, not a movie, a song. I don't know who sang it. Go Ahead and Make My Day. I remember Radio Merseyside playing it, but I don't know who sang it. So if any of you have heard it, it's sort of like Go Ahead and Make My Day, something like that. Yeah, when Sudden Impact came out, they made a record like they did with the Boys from the Black stuff about Liverpool and unemployment in Liverpool. They made a record of that. I'm Yours to Use and I Want a Job. But they done the same thing with Dirty Harry. Yeah, I don't know who sang it. And again, going back, do you remember Dallas? They made a song. Was it an Irish group who shot J.R. Ewing? Yeah, like they made like a spoof of it. Yeah, can anybody tell me who shot J.R. down? That was in 1980. That was out. Yeah, I remember it. I remember it being played on the. We used to have a station on Irish, Radio 1. Larry Gogan. And he used to play all these novelty songs and that was always played, around about the time when Larry Hagman, JR got shot, and everybody in the nation was speculating who'd shot him. Well, he made a record called Who Shot J.R. Ewing, and another one as well, The Wurzels, I Hate J.R., yeah, the memories are coming, they're flooding back now, guys, I tell you, all these spoof songs, yeah. Oh, yeah, they made a song, yeah, Go Ahead and Make My Day. It went something like that, Go Ahead and Make My Day. So if anybody knows it, or even if you've got it in your collection, let me know, sang it, yeah. I remember it well, I remember it being on the wireless, yeah. Somebody does Clint's voice in the middle, the sort of like, his voice in that, basically the Clint Eastwood voice, shall we say, but yeah. Tony Crosby, I've noticed Clint's movies in the 70s had a lot of the same cast members in his films like Jeffrey Lewis, etc., right? Sandra Locke was in a few, wasn't she? Talking about Sandra Locke, I was made up, guys. She made a movie in the 70s, it's around about 1977, called I think it's called Deadly Games. It's basically, do you know that movie Knock Knock? This is basically the first movie which Knock Knock sort of like inspired it. you know, this movie inspired Knock Knock, Eli Roth's Knock Knock, basically about these two psychopathic girls. They go around terrorizing this this man in the house and that, you know, and I've always wanted it, and it's got a lovely slipcover and that, so I'll put it away for Christmas and that, so I'm really excited to get that. Yeah, Sandra Locke's in it. I don't know who the other actress is, but I'm looking forward to watching that over Christmas. Yeah. Right, Walk On Always Believe is saying, I'm not a John Wayne fan, but my favourite Western of all time is War Wagon with Kirk Douglas and John Wayne. Yeah, I think I've seen that once, War Wagon. Yeah, I don't remember so much about it. Gunfights at the OK Corral was a good Kirk Douglas Western. Tony Crosby, Mike Yarwood's back. Oh, right, first time you. I was only joking before when I said about Mike Yarwood needing worry. He was my favourite impressionist, Mike Yarwood, when I used to watch, you know, watching the 70s shows and that. Growing up in the 70s, always had Mike Yarwood on. You know, I thought he was a fantastic impersonator. And the way he used to do Harold Wilson and that, you know, he used to have his pipe and that, and he used to go, oh, come and listen to this, Mary. You know, he'd do the laugh and that, you know. He got those characters spot on. He really did. And the one I loved the Christmas show in 1978 where he had ABBA on, and he done like a spoof of the Generation Game, and Mike Yarwood, he played Larry Grayson and that. Yeah, and oh yeah, that's a great one. That the Mike Yarwood 1978 Christmas show, he had ABBA on as guests. Yeah, oh yeah, I love Mike Yarwood. Yeah. Joe Longthorne was good as well. He was a good impersonator as well as a good singer as well. Graham Powell, John Williams did Jaws, right? Fazbear Brothers and Star Wars. Not a great fan of Star Wars, no. And another movie I've never been able to get into, although I do know it's got millions of fans. Richard Brown, do you remember the song John Wayne is Big? I do remember it, yeah. Oh God, yeah. The memories are flooding back tonight, Richard. Yeah. It was a Hazy Fantasy who sang Shiny, Shiny, da 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 da, Shiny, Shiny. Yeah. I remember that one. John Wayne is Big Leggy. Yeah. Was it the spring of 1983? I think it was around about the spring. Yeah, John Wayne is Big Leggy, Big Leggy, Hazy Fantasy. Whatever happened to them? Yeah, I love that Shiny, Shiny. Yeah, he had some good novelty songs in the 80s as well, didn't he? Star Trekking Across the Universe. Remember that one? That used to have me in stitches. That. Yeah, there's Klingons on the starboard bow. Sam K8 watching Signs at the moment, Alan. Right, I hope you enjoy it, Sam. Peter saying new Indiana Jones 5 trailer has dropped online now. Oh, they're going to make another one, are they? Yeah, they're not bad movies, them. Yeah, the Raiders of the Lost Ark and that. Yeah, Harrison Ford. I'll have to watch out for that one. Tony Crosby saying Hazy Fantasy. Yeah, Hazy Fantasy. Yeah. As I say, I love that Shiny, Shiny. It's a great one, that. And of course, John Wayne is Big Leggy. Do anybody remember, talking about novelty songs, guys? Does anybody remember Kirsty MacColl? There's a guy that works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. Do you remember that one? I think it was out about 1981. Yeah, it was terrible what happened to her, wasn't it? Kirsty MacColl with the bows. Yeah, you used to like that one. There's a guy works down the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. Yeah, I remember another one from 1981. Joe Dolce, Shut Up in Your Face. I used to love that one. Yeah, that got to number one. I think it was February 1981, because I was doing a course then in Liverpool, sight and sound course. You know, learning how to do computers and typing and that was all a go. Yeah, Shut Up in Your Face. Everybody was singing it. Yeah. And that other one as well, novelties. I love my novelty songs. The one at Christmas, Grandma, We Love You, and the other one, the Birdie song. Used to love that one as well. Richard, I'll have to do a stream, won't I, of all novelty songs and that. Yeah, a music one. I'll do that, guys. Next couple of weeks I'll do it. I might do a glam rock one, and I might do one with like all novelty songs and that. So watch this space. Yeah. I love me music just as much as I love me movies. Right, Richard Brown saying Colleen Camp is the other girl in Dead. That's it. Yeah, that's it. The other girl. Yeah, Colleen Camp, Deadly Games. I'm looking forward to watching that. Lovely edition, lovely slipcover. It was very, very hard to track down. It really was. Dr. Impossible saying, Clint's The Life and Legend was an intriguing book. I do like biographies that look behind the mask that's served up to the public. Oh, right, yeah. Don't think I've read that one, Doctor. I'll have to get that one. Thanks for that. Tony Crosby saying, Mike Yarwood did the Steptoes and Larry Grayson. He did, yeah. Steptoe and Son, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Harold. Yeah, and you dirty old man. Dirty old man. Sorry, couldn't resist that. But yeah, he's great, Mike Yarwood. Yeah. Terrible, like the way you know these like stars of the 70s. You don't see them now, do you? You know, I grew up with all of them. Cannon and Ball, Little and Large, Mike Yarwood, you know, all of them. I grew up with all of them. Of course, the late great Bruce Forsyth, you know, the Generation Game. That was the highlight of. I've said it before, guys. I've got to say it again. The Generation Game was the highlight of my Saturday night TV viewing. You know, I love the Generation Game, and I wish somebody would release a DVD or Blu-ray of all the shows in a big box set. I'd be the first in line to get it. So if any of you video producers are watching, get the Generation Game out on Blu-ray. Or every episode, yeah, the Bruce Forsyth ones. I did like the Larry Grayson ones as well, that started in 1978, but I did prefer the Brucey ones. Then he came back again, didn't he, in the early 90s with Rosemary Ford. What's on the board, Miss Ford? Yeah, sorry about these they just keep coming out, guys. I'm not trying to get picked up by Britain's Got Talent. They just come out. I can't resist them, you know. Yeah, good game, yeah. I used to love Brucey, one of the best. Strictly Come Dancing. It's just not the same without him, is it? Sammy Adams. I just watched The Mad Death, 1983, BBC drama about rabies. It's still great after all those years, right? They made a movie, didn't they? Rabies. I think it was Arrow. Arrow brought it out a couple of years ago. I love Arrow. He brings some great titles. I love that. I love that Count Yorga, that Count Yorga box set. Yeah, fantastic. I think I've got thinking on it now, guys. I think I've got more. I think I've got more Arrow. I think I've got more Arrow titles than I've got any other boutique label. I just love them. You know, there has been a couple of bad ones. You know, granted, The Visitor. Oh, that was terrible. Really was. It was one weird movie. That was, yeah, awful movie. Yeah, so threw that on eBay. But yeah, I love Arrow. Yeah, I've got the one of my favourite ones is the Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I've got the special edition of that. With all the features on and that. Yeah, that's one of the best releases. That one. That's a great one. That the Bird with the Crystal Plumage. But yeah, love Arrow. I like Vinegar Syndrome as well, but there's only one thing with them. They're quite expensive. You know, they really are. Right, Walk On Always Believers saying, what's it called? Where when you watch a film and after watching it you feel blank, feel no emotion until it sinks in. It feels as if you've been tranced. Do you know what that feeling is called? It's a kind of like you've been sort of like that overwhelmed by the movie. It's done its job, hasn't it? The movie sets out what it's intended to do. It's like when you read a novel and you come away thinking about the book. You know, you can't get the book out of your mind. It leaves an impression on you, doesn't it? You know, it's like when you have like a shock ending in a movie or a book. You think, oh my god, you know, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Like a twist, what you never seen coming. Things like that, and sort of like movies where they're sort of like they have some kind of social commentary, if you know what I mean. They say something about society, you know, what sort of like rings true. For instance, I was saying before about Death Wish, you know, where like the criminals and that, you know, like sometimes like the law that can be pretty ineffective when it comes to dealing with rogues and scumbags and murders and that. But if you get somebody on the streets, like, you know, executing their own brand of justice, you can really imagine. I mean, that like in Charles Bronson Death Wish, what his family went through hell with those yobs that broke into his house. You could really feel his anger, his vengeance and that. So that was why I suppose they were all cheering for him in the cinema when he was killing the criminals and beating them up. That sort of thing. That I'll give another example. Ken Loach, you know, Daniel Blake. That gave a good sort of like picture of what it was like trying to find work and that, you know, in modern Britain. So that leaves you come away with something from that movie, think, oh, what he went through and that. I got a very, very sad ending as well, like a punch in the face. So that sort of thing, yeah, like social commentary or sort of like you know, realistic movies. I think they're the ones that leave the most impression on you, in my opinion. Right. Miserable Git saying, Mike Yarwood is a class. So is the BBC on a Saturday night. Great days, yeah. Anybody remember him? I know he wasn't on the BBC. He was on ITV. Jeremy Beadle. Watch Out Beatles About. I used to watch that before he used to go out on the town on Saturday nights, yeah. And then before that, he was in Game for a Laugh, wasn't he? With Sarah Kennedy and Matthew Kelly. Used to watch that in the early 80s, Game for a Laugh. Yeah. He was alright, Jeremy Beadle. Sometimes some of the pranks he played on people, though. Oh, God. Can imagine how angry they were. You got Martians in your back garden. Zanny Adams, I just watched The Mad Death, 1983 BBC drama. Oh, sorry, I've seen that one. It's alright, guys. It's just the comments have jumped a bit. Right, Gina's here. Hi everyone, you okay, Gina? Sorry I'm late. Has anyone seen the 1967 portmanteau film The Witches? There's a segment in it with Clint Eastwood as a very boring husband. I couldn't imagine Clint Eastwood being a very boring husband. No, but seriously, I've seen it. I haven't seen it, I haven't watched it, but I've seen it advertised and that. It's in foreign though, isn't it? Yeah, that's what's put me off here. Well, Clint Eastwood playing a very boring husband. My word. I might just check that out, actually. Richard Brown, love The Mad Death, right? Sammy Adams to Richard Brown, same here, mate. Yeah. Fazbear Brothers, I'll need to be guessing Clint the Life, yeah. Tony Crosby, whoa, I'm definitely there for the glam rock run. Yeah, a glam rock one will definitely be coming, yeah, I can assure you. Yeah, love Slade, Sweet, Wizard, or Kenny, all groups like that. Susie Quattro, Alvin Stardust. They were big staples of my growing up in the 70s, yeah. I used to get the old Top of the Pops LPs and that, and what a con they were. Dr. Impossible, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Doesn't sound as sharp as a Temple of Doom or Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is that what it's called then, Doctor? Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's not set in a phone box, is it? Just my little joke, yeah. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for that, mate. Richard Brown, Mike Yarwood got stage fright and had to pack it in. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. He got stage fright. He was on all those years, wasn't he? Sammy Adams, have you seen Sex Wish 1970? No. Such a great film. Is that something along the lines of Confessions of a Window Cleaner and Adventures of a Pop Performer, is it? Richard Brown, did anyone watch The Nightmare Man on BBC in the early 80s? No, I didn't see that, Richard. I missed that. Dr. Impossible, Nightmare Man was a great BBC production directed by Douglas, is that Camfield? Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Let's check that one out, actually. Tony Crosby, Russ Abbott was great on a Saturday night, yeah. Russ Abbott's Madhouse, yeah. He played that rocker, didn't he? Was it Vince Prince? I liked him singing that Atmosphere that was out in February 1985, and he made another one, didn't he? In the summer, we'll have an all nice holiday. Remember that one? It didn't get as high as Atmosphere. Atmosphere got to number 1. Oh, what an Atmosphere! Yeah, he was great, Russ Abbott. I think he was from Chester. Or lived in Chester. Graham Powell, have you seen the English on BBC iPlayer that stays with you? Very good Western shot also in Spain. I haven't seen that one, Gray. No. Walk on, always believe. That's the word, Alan. Overwhelmed, thanks. Gran Torino and Last Night in Soho are the only 2 films where have overwhelmed me, as if I got dragged into the screen, been overwhelmed. Yeah, I know what you mean. I love Last Night in Soho. Yeah, it's a great movie, that. Yeah. My mum wasn't too keen on it, but as I said to her, that was a great film, that. Yeah, she said I didn't like the part where she was like in a dream sequence. She thought was a bit far-fetched, but I liked it, I enjoyed it. I've got the 4K of that. I love the 60s, I love the 60s ambience, yeah. It's a lovely movie, that. Great movie. Nice to see Diana Rigg in it, the late great Diana Rigg, make a cameo appearance in it as well. Loved her in The Avengers. And she was good in Theatre of Blood as well, where she played Vincent Price's daughter. Wore all those wigs and that, disguised herself. That's one of, if you like Vincent Price, if you like Vincent Price, guys, If you haven't seen Theatre of Blood, I highly recommend Theatre of Blood. It's a great one, especially that poodle pie scene. Oh my god, I still can't watch that without wincing. It's very much along the lines of the chest burst and an alien, so be warned if you haven't seen Theatre of Blood. Be warned of the poodle pie scene with Robert Morley. Oh, absolutely gross. Doctor Impossible. Yeah, the Scorpio Killer was based on the elements of the Zodiac Killer. The actor who played the killer in Dirty Harry was Andy Robinson. That's it, Andy Robinson. Yeah, he was in Hellraiser then, wasn't he, Andy Robinson? The Clive Barker, the very first Clive Barker Hellraiser. Robinson played next to Walter Matthau in Charlie Varick. I haven't seen Charlie Varick, but yeah, I remember, Andy Robinson. Yeah, he often pops up him. He's a good actor. Yeah. Oh, while we're on the subject, guys, of Hellraiser, has anybody seen that new one? It's a woman, isn't it, that plays Pinhead? Yeah, it's a woman. I'm not really very keen to see that, like, you know, because the last couple of Hellraiser movies I've seen, I've been immensely disappointed with them. So I'm not really all excited to see this one. Same with Salem's Lot. I'm not really excited to see that, you know. And again, the same with Halloween Ends. You know, we had a lot of a lot of people do like it, but a hell of a lot of people hate it. So I'm not really excited about that. Halloween Ends. Yeah. So a couple of movies there. I'm not really, counting the days to see. Walk On, Always Believe, Scarface, Cape Fear, and Misery. Yeah, are my 3 favourite films, definitely, of all time, but they never gave me the overwhelming punch in the face feeling of Gran Torino and Last Night in Soho. Yeah, I know what you mean. Every so often there's a movie that comes along, and as you use the metaphor there, a punch in the face, you know, it knocks you for 6 and say, whoa, that was an awesome movie, that. I know what you mean, yeah. Dr. Impossible. Robinson was also in DS9 as a Cardassian. And talking about punches in the faces and horror movies, The Exorcist gave quite a few people punch in the face, didn't it? When it came out in 1973, yeah. Oh, yeah, I heard so many, unpleasant stories about that movie, yeah. Caused an absolute sensation. Tony Crosby. I'm currently going through the Goodies box set at the moment. I love the Goodies, and they were a big staple of my growing up in the 70s, the Goodies. I loved them. Fantastic, yeah. Really funny still, yeah. I like that one with the one with the giant cats on the tower. That's a good one. And that the Goodies, was that the Goodies and the Beanstalk? Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to love Black Pudding Bertha. Yeah, and they actually had a couple of hits, didn't they? The Goodies, yeah, the In-Betweenies and that, Black Pudding Bertha, and the Funky Gibbon, where they go do the Funky Gibbon. Yeah, my memory serves me correctly. That was in March 1975. Yeah, do the Funky Gibbon. Oh, I love the Goodies, yeah. Again, my mum didn't like them. My dad loved them. Me and my dad used to be in stitches watching them and that, you know. My mum didn't like them at all, you know, just like Monty Python. You know, she wasn't too keen on them. But yeah, I love the Goodies. Gina is saying the Goodies was great. Yeah, love the Goodies. Fantastic series and that. I love the bike, you know, the tricycle, what they rode and that. Oh, great, yeah. And they had such great chemistry, didn't he? You know, Tim Brooke Taylor, Graham Garden, you know, and the other guy, Bill Oddie. You know, he's doing. Last time I seen him, he was doing bird watching program. Yeah. Oh yeah. He didn't have a bad voice, Bill Oddie. He sang all the Goodies songs, didn't he? Yeah, great Bill Oddie. Richard Brown. Charlie Varick is well worth watching, Alan. Joe Don Baker is also in it, right? Oh, I'll have to check that out. Charlie Varick. Graham Powell. Diana Rigg is brilliant. Countess Tracy, then Mrs. James Bond. Yeah. She had a rather sad demise, didn't she? On her Majesty's Secret Service, the one with George Lazenby. Yeah, very, very sad. Dr. Impossible, I second that. Charlie Varick was directed by Don Siegel, right? Matthau was brilliant. Yeah, he was a good actor. Walter Matthau, yeah. I'll tell you another movie, guys, I've ordered on the, not a Clint Eastwood one. You know, I'm a big fan of Some Like It's Hot, with Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. Kino Lorber's brought a 4K out, and it's a lovely edition, you know, lovely slipcover. So I've upgraded from the old Blu-ray, so I should be getting that any day now. Some Like It's Hot. Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, great fun movie that. Tony Crosby, Kitten Kong is the episode. Yeah, that's it. Kitten Kong and the Goodies with the cat on the post office tower. That's the one. Kitten Kong, yeah. Walk On Always Believe. There are a few things in Last Night in Soho that I don't understand, so I've come up with my own imagination of what they may mean, but that's just to one side. This is a modern massive. I love Last Night in Soho. Yeah, I'll be watching that again very soon. Yeah, it's a great movie. I love it. Very original. Yeah, lovely coloured movie as well, and out of the 60s. Anything to do with the 60s music, I'm there. I love 60s music. 60s and 70s are my era. They're my 2 decades, the 60s and the 70s. So you can be sure, as I said before, you can be sure they will feature in one of my upcoming live streams. So as I say, watch this space. Plenty to say about the 60s and 70s music. Miserable Old Gis. Alan, you are spot on with Daniel Blake. I saw us at the movies and men were crying as they left. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it's a very, very emotional movie, that Daniel Blake. The great Ken Loach. If you haven't seen it, guys, check it out. That's a great one. There's another good Ken Loach one as well. I watched it on Amazon Prime. It's similar to Daniel Blake, but then again different in other respects. Sorry, what's it called? Sorry I left your number. Sorry, or what's it called? Sorry I left your number. So I can't remember the title, but it's basically about this guy. He's suffering poverty, pretty much like Daniel Blake, and he gets this job as a delivery man. Delivering, and his boss is a swine. He's a real swine, and different things happen to him when he delivers the parcels and that. It's very good. I'm sure it's called Sorry Right Number, something like that. Anyway, I've got the Blu-ray anyway. Yeah, but watch out for that one. He's great, Ken Loach. Yeah, fantastic kitchen sink drama. Walk On Always Believe is saying George and Mildred is my favourite comedy series of all time. Yeah, definitely, with the gorgeous Sheila Fern. Yeah, Sheila Fern. Yeah, she was in The Likely Lads as well. I think she played, was it Terry's sister? Sheila Fern, yeah, oh great, and of course, Man About the House, which led to George and Mildred, didn't it? Yeah, I've said it before, guys, and I've said it again about Man About the House. I always preferred Joe, Sally Thompson, to Chrissy. Although I did like the two girls, I thought they were great in their roles, Paula Wilcox and Sally Thompson. My favourite, in regards to crushes, my favourite girl was Jo, the blonde girl. She played like a Disney blonde, but she was all there, wasn't she? Yeah, and that's, I couldn't understand when as I said it before, when Robin lost Chrissy to his brother, why he didn't pair him off with Jo. But then of course he went to Robin's Nest, didn't he? But oh yeah, love Man About the House. Yeah, love every single episode of that. And George and Mildred, of course. Dr. Impossible, John Williams did Jaws and Jaws 2, yeah. Jaws was me, of all the Jaws movies, I have to say the first one is the best. I wasn't too keen on the sequels, and that ridiculous one where it was supposed to be following them from the the beach and that, following them to another location. I thought that was really mad. I don't know if that was Jaws 3 or Jaws 4. Yeah, where it was following them as if it was had the super intelligence. So if you've seen it, guys, you know the one I mean. I thought that was really far-fetched, that. Right, guys, we'll go on till about 10 o'clock if that's okay. So if you want to get your questions in, feel free to ask me anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be on Clint Eastwood. Ask me anything at all. Perfectly happy to answer them. Tony Crosby, same here, Alan. 60s and 70s music are my favourites. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Dr. Impossible, Richard Brown. The film score to Taking a Pelham by David Shire is just stunning, right? Graham Powell got that 4K version of Some Like Us Hot. Very good transfer. Oh, that's good to know. One of my favourite films, never fails to crack me up. Yeah, I love the slipcover of that, Gray. I'm looking forward to getting that. I love Some Like Us Hot, yeah. Especially Jack Lemmon getting dressed up as a bloody woman. And Tony Curtis when he gets on the yacht with the monocle and that, and a sailor's hat on and that, and of course the lovely curvaceous Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, perfect movie, that, one of the best. Alright then, guys, so getting back to Clint Eastwood, have you got a particular favourite Clint Eastwood? Is any of these what I've got here any of your favourites? Let me know. I'd be very interested to hear. What's your worst Clint Eastwood movie? One what you really hate and it sticks out like a sore thumb out of all the movies he's made. Again, let me know. Be very interested to discuss. Miserable Git, great night, Alan. Thanks. Have a great weekend, Steve. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, thanks for turning up. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I love putting together these special theme nights. Special live stream theme nights. I've always got new ideas. For new sort of like subjects to cover. And thanks to everybody for turning up. I've really enjoyed it. Tony Crosby, have you seen the 40s comedy movie Hell's a Poppin'? It's a mad movie. I saw that many years ago, too. Isn't that the one where you get all like cameo appearances from all Hollywood stars, like Hollywood Canteen? Hell's a Poppin', yeah. And there's two main guys, isn't it? There's two main comedians in it, isn't there? A bit like Abbott and Costello, if my memory serves me correctly. Yeah, I saw it many years ago. I don't remember too much about it, so. Doctor's saying, Alan, did you ever see Dustin Hoffman in a film called Straight Time? I haven't seen that, Doctor. No. You want to check that, Doctor? No. Doctor, no. You want to check that film out? It's available on Warner Archive in the US. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, Doc. Yeah. Thanks for that. That Marathon Man, talking about Dustin Hoffman, that Marathon Man was brutal, wasn't it? The Nazi dentist. Is it safe? Oh, God. That sent shivers down my spine, that. He's good in Straw Dogs, Dustin Hoffman. I've got the Criterion. I've got the Criterion Blu-ray Straw Dogs with the lovely Susan George. Yeah. That's one of my favourite Dustin Hoffman movies. That, and of course he was famous for the Graduate as well, wasn't he? I haven't got that one. Yes, I've enjoyed it tonight, guys. I say thanks for turning up, and love talking about Clint and that, and all those movies and that. And but these are fantastic releases. These I'm really made up with these. As I say, getting them in 4K. I never dreamed I'd ever own the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on 4K, let alone any of the others. So that's a lovely slipcover that as well. Yeah. So. Yeah, as I say, I've enjoyed it. And that, so to say, I'm on till 10. So if you want to get your I'll try to get through as many as I can before we finish at 10 o'clock. So yeah, so just anything at all, it doesn't have to be on Clint Eastwood. Horror, drama, comedy. Yeah, just music. Just get the questions in. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Tony saying, I watched Abbott and Costello in Jack and the Beanstalk the other night and was very disappointed. Oh, right, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Abbott and Costello, too, because I'm after two things, really, of Abbott and Costello. Number one, I'm after the Abbott and Costello, the early 1950s TV series, what they made. They released a Blu-ray of that, season 1. So I'm after that one. I think it's about 46 quid on Amazon, so that's very much in me Christmas list, to buy. And then I want the ever elusive Abbott and Costello movie collection on Blu-ray. That one that's like a big brown suitcase. They got the DVD, but I want the Blu-ray. I want the Blu-ray box set, and now I've got the DVD box set, which I can't sell anywhere. I'm selling that for £20, so but I still can't sell it to anybody. So it's ideal if anybody wants all of Abbott and Costello movies in a big box set. So I still got that for sale for £20. If anybody's interested, because I hope to get the Blu-ray of the Abbott and Costello, but it's very, very hard to get. And when you do find it, it's going for astronomical sums, about £140, £150. That's much too expensive. That for all right, there's a lot of movies in it, but I think it's a bit steep, considering how old the movies are. But so the Abbott and Costello TV series I want, and then of course the Abbott and Costello. I think it's 30. Is it 30 movies? I think it's about 30 movies. Yeah. So, but you never know. I might strike lucky just before Christmas. A few more comments in. Richard saying Dustin Hoffman ended up directing Straight Time when the director left. Right. Walk On Always Believers saying Man About the House led to Robin running a restaurant. Yeah. Robin's Nest, exactly. With Tessa Wyatt was his girl, wasn't she? After not getting Chrissy to his brother George, after not getting Chrissy to his brother George, and Mildred left landlording, but Jeffrey Formile, oddly, is the guy who played Robin's brother. I know, yeah, he played, the neighbour. Yeah, the guy, the upper class neighbour of George and Mildred, also played Robin's, sort of like snidey brother, didn't he? Who stole Chrissy off him. That's right. Yeah, you're right. Good actor, him. He was good in. Tell you what, he was good in. That that serious thriller. Brian Clemens. He played this character called the Carnation Killer. Oh, he's very sinister in that. Yeah, he's a great actor in. Yeah. Right, Doctor's saying, yeah, he did, Richard. It's still a great crime drama. Yeah. Stephen Davis, Play Misty for me is a classic. It is. Yeah, one of my favourite Clint Eastwood movies. That Play Misty for me, better than Fatal Attraction. Yeah, it is. Yeah, although I do like Fatal Attraction, I do prefer Play Misty for me. Yeah. I like the whole premise of him being a late night DJ and that, and this weird woman stalking him and that. Yeah, and he's just fantastic in it. Clint, he really is. Yeah, and of course, as is the woman that plays the psycho killer. Graham Powell, are those 4K region 3? I'll check for you. Region A. That's region A. Region A again. Yeah, or Region A, Kino Lorber. Unforgiven is I think this is I think that you'd be alright with this one. But I think with the 4Ks, I think they'll play, won't they, on I think they'll play on British players, won't they? I think it's the Blu-rays you've got to be careful with the reads, but I think the 4Ks will play regardless of what region your machine is. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But I'm sure I've heard someone saying on YouTube that it doesn't matter if the 4Ks will play on British players. Yeah. Right. Doctor's saying, did you get Give Us a Clue DVD set from Network DVD, Alan? No, I didn't, Doctor. No, I didn't even know they'd released Give Us a Clue on DVD. So fingers crossed, they might release the Generation game. They're a great company, Network, by the way. They released one called it's like a drama series that was on in the 70s called The Intruder. That one with the guy he's got a patch over his eye and he's got this beret. And he's got like a long overcoat like Frank Spencer, but very, very far removed from Frank Spencer in terms of like comedy, because this guy is anything but comedic. Very, very sinister character, so I might pick that one up. I remember watching it in the 70s. I don't remember too much about it, but I might pick that up actually. Tony Crosby, the 60s series, The Avengers box set was very expensive, but I had to get them individually. Right? Yeah, I used to love The Avengers when I was watching that when I was little. Richard Brown, Jeffrey Formile was also good as a nasty, cowardly cop in The Sweeney. Yeah. Walk On Always Believe is saying it never made sense in George and Mildred why Jeffrey Formile is played by the same guy as Robin's brother, even though he played it well. I know, yeah. I liked him in See No Evil with Mia Farrow, right? I haven't seen that one. Is that the one where she's blind and she's trapped in the house with the stalker? Brian Gilson, 4K are region 3, but the Blu-rays are region locked. That's right, I thought so. Yeah, thought so. Walk On Always Believe. I think Clint may be the only old school legend left. Yeah, he's one of the best, isn't he? Our Clint's. Stephen Davis. Those 4Ks play, but they often have the extras on the region locked Blu-rays. Right, yeah. Well, I've got a multi-region 4K player, so I won't have any problem playing them. Yeah, so I've got just over 5 minutes to go, guys. So I say, I'll get through as many questions as I can. So just keep firing them at me. So if any of you picked up any good bargains in the Black Friday sales, I had a look, and to be honest, I didn't think there was much, really, not that appeals to me anyway, So a lot of these Black Friday sales, when you go to have a look at them, there's not really much on offer. There's one Blu-ray I am after. I seen one of the YouTubers talking about it the other night. Mardi Gras Massacre. That's come out on 88 Films, and he said it's very, very hard to get. Yeah, I think it was John of Mondochelovec. Yeah, he said it's very hard to get, he said, Mardi Gras, so that's what I'm after. But it'll be its usual price, I presume, because it's only just been released, but very, very hard to get, you know, so I'll try and get that one if I can for Christmas. Stephen Davis saying Coogan's Bluff, another classic. Yeah, definitely. Graham Powell, thanks for the info on the 4K, guys. Okay. Walk On, Always Believe. Yes, that's the one, Alan. Okay. Brian Gibson to Graham Powell, you're welcome. Stephen Davis, 88 films off 33% off. Oh, that's good, Steve. Yeah. Oh, I hope they got 33% off if they got it in Mardi Gras Massacre. Oh, thanks for that, Steve. Yeah, so I'll have a look at 88 Films websites and see if I can get it with the slipcover. You know, it's always a movie I've wanted to watch. Richard Brown, Mardi Gras Massacre is very poor, to be honest, Alan. Oh, right, is it? Oh. Tony Crosby, nice, Alan. And everyone, great stream. See you on the next one. Have a great weekend, Alan. Oh, thanks very much, Toe. Yeah, thanks for turning up. Nice talking to you again. And if you buy any movies and that, you know, over the weekend, I hope you manage to get some bargains. Oh, yeah, I've enjoyed it, Toe. Yeah, thanks very much. All going well. I'll talk to you again next week. Take care, mate. Yeah, just whiz through them now, guys, because I'm finishing in a couple of minutes. Yeah, so I'll say I've enjoyed it and that, you know. So thanks for turning up, and it's great talking about one of my all-time favourite actors, the legend that is, you know, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, and I might even do another one in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, because I like him that much. You know, I might do another one actually. I might do a Christopher Lee one as well. I haven't done one of Christopher Lee's. Another great iconic favourite actor of mine, Christopher Lee. Walk On, Always Believe. I icked up your recommendation, Man Who Haunted Himself, not seeing it yet. That's a great one, that. Roger Moore, good doppelganger story, very, very creepy, and it's got a great twist as well. I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, Roger Moore, he's another icon, wasn't he? Yeah, The Saints and that, you know, and Bond. Gina, good night, Alan, and everyone. Have a good weekend. Oh, yeah, good night, Gina. Yeah, thanks for turning up. Yeah, have a nice weekend and all going well. I'll talk to you again next Thursday. Same time, same place. Brian's saying, have you seen the film Blades? No, I haven't seen that one. It's a comedy horror spoof of Jaws, but instead of a shark, it's a lawnmower killing people on a... That part we were saying about the lawnmower, it rings a vague bell. It could be a different movie, but yeah... I think I saw the other night on one of the YouTubers, they ordered this big box set of Vinegar Syndrome, and I'm pretty sure that was among them. Oh yeah, massive big box set he ordered, and it was all Vinegar Syndromes in the box, like a big Christmas hamper it was. I'm pretty sure that Blades was in it. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Richard's saying, last films I bought, Horror Express and Candyman, both on Arrow. Yeah. Two great movies. In regards to the Candyman, the original one with Tony Todd, I didn't like that. I did not like that sequel, that modern sequel. I didn't like it. It bored me senseless, that. Stephen Davis, Blades was awful, right? Yeah, that's one of the most disappointing horror movies I've watched. It was that Orphan First Kill. Oh, it was an atrocious movie, and I said it in my review. I don't know what they were using but the colour was horrible. It was like this dirty dishwater, dull sort of like hue. It had, oh yeah, horrible colour. It was like watching a VHS tape from the 80s. Yeah, an awful movie as well. Don't know why they bothered. Terrible movie, that Orphan. They should have left it at the first one. Walk On, Always Believe. Sadly, Black Fridays aren't much cheaper, right? HMV have some good bargains from time to time, don't they? 2 for $15. Graham Powell and a Peter Cushing one. Yeah, definitely a Peter Cushing one. Yeah, and I'm going to do the Glamorous Ladies of Horror. I might do, that'll be an interesting one. All your favourite pin-up girls, you know, the girls that you had a crush on. And I've got a couple of guys, believe me. Yeah, so that'll be another one I'll be doing. The Glamour Girls of Horror. Gina Walpole, I've just checked 88 Films and they have Mardi Gras Massacre with the slipcase on pre-order for $17.99. So it's on pre-order then, is it, Gina? Right, so I'll have a look at that. Yeah. I wonder what date it's actually going to be released. I tell you what, I've got my eye on as well. I might pre-order that Grudge box set. You know, the Arrow special edition, the Grudge. I might order that as well. I might put that on my list. Yeah, well, we've got 1 minute, guys, anyway. Yeah, so thanks again. You know, really enjoyed it tonight, you know, talking about Clint and that. And if you haven't got any of these movies, I highly recommend, you know, that you add them to your collection, you know. Fantastic, yeah. So I hope this 4K, well, I'm hoping this Clint Eastwood 4K collection continues to grow and grow. And I've really enjoyed it tonight. Yeah, thanks very much. Some interesting topics. Stephen Davis, how does Vampire Circus look on Blu-ray? I haven't watched it yet, Steve. I might watch it over the weekend, yeah. People were complaining on Facebook saying it looks like DVD quality. Oh, really? Oh, right. So that's not good news. Oh, so I've got rid of my Synapse one now. So I wonder if I've made an unwise decision there. So he said the picture quality, it's not you know, what he thought it would be. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I hate that when you get a Blu-ray and that, and you hear that picture quality, it's not as good as as the not as good as the other the other Blu-ray or even the DVD. You know, I say I've heard a lot of horror stories about that Planes, Trains and Automobiles, that the picture quality is very poor. So I definitely won't be getting that one. Right, guys, I'm going to love yous and leave yous now. So, again, thanks very much for turning up. I've really enjoyed it, and talking about Clint Eastwood and other things as well. And as I say, have a nice weekend. And if you go Blu-ray hunting, I hope you manage to pick up some good buys and that, yeah. All right, then, guys, I'm going to go now. So, again, thanks very much. I've really enjoyed it. And I'll just log off now. And all going well. I'll be back again next Thursday night with another live stream. Same time, same place. Okay, bye.